Hello everyone, I am Jezake Alkizar and my topic to be discussed for today is about the Caribbean. Okay, so the Caribbean is a major marine region south of the eastern United States, east of Mexico and the Gulf of Mexico, east of Central America and north of the Isthmus of Panama and the land masses of northwestern South America. The region is considered to be part of North America. So the Caribbean consists of the Caribbean Sea and its islands, also known as the West Indies. Part of the region borders the Atlantic Ocean to the northeast and east and is connected to the Gulf of Mexico to the west by the Yucatan Channel. Almost all of the more than 700 islands and islets are situated on the Caribbean plate. Even so, many Caribbean islands were formed by volcanoes erupting from the ocean floor. The Caribbean is not considered part of the Pacific Ring of Fire. So the Caribbean is divided into four major island groups. First is the Greater Antilles, second is the Lesser Antilles, third is the Bahama Archipelago or the Lucayan Archipelago, and fourth is the Leeward Antilles. The Lesser Antilles are further divided into three island groups. The Leeward Islands, in the north, and the Windward Islands in the south, and the Leeward Antilles, which is a chain of islands along the southeastern fringe of the Caribbean Sea, and also the north of the Venezuela's coast. So the largest Caribbean islands are Cuba, Hispaniola, Jamaica, and Puerto Rico, known as the Greater Antilles. Trinidad, the larger island of Trinidad and Tobago, is situated just north of the Venezuelan coast. So in the political map of the Caribbean, the map shows the Caribbean, which is a region between North and Central and South America, and with the Caribbean islands in the Caribbean Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. Major islands with their capitals and major cities, neighboring maritime regions such as the Gulf of Mexico and the Bermuda Triangle, and island groups such as the Greater Antilles, or what they call the Antillas Mayores, and the Lesser Antilles, which they call the Antillas Menores. So the islands of the Caribbean were originally inhabited by Arawak and Carib Indians. So in 1492, Columbus found the islands of the Bahamas, assuming that he had reached the coast of India, which he called the local Indians. So for the geography of the Caribbean, they have an area of 2,753,000 kilometers squared or 1,063,000 square miles. And the Caribbean Sea is about 5 times the size of France or 4 times the size of Texas. In their population, they have more than 44 million people living in the Caribbean. So what are the languages spoken in Caribbean? So there are 6 official languages in the Caribbean and many other unofficial languages that being spoken. The official languages are Dutch, English, French, Haitian Creole, Papiamento, and Spanish. Haitian Creole and Papiamento are Creole languages. And the time zones in the Caribbean are UTC-5 to UTC-4. So let's go around to the climate of the Caribbean. Most of the Caribbean is situated south of the Tropic of Cancer. Its climate is influenced by its location near the equator, the oceans, and trade winds. The whole area is under the influence of a prevailing east to west easterly trade wind, which creates the North Equatorial Current, which is the NEC, and a westward wind-driven current. The climate is tropical maritime. warm and humid, with annual average coastal temperatures of about 26 degrees Celsius or 80 degrees Fahrenheit. The coolest temperatures are generally in January, while the warmest in August. There is a dry, which is from month of February to June, and a wet season from June to November. The entire Caribbean lies in the so-called hurricane belt. Hurricane season is from June to December. So now let's go to the World Heritage Sites in the Caribbean. So the first one is the colonial city of Santo Domingo. Shortly after the arrival of Christopher Columbus on the island of Hispaniola in 1492, Santo Domingo became the site of many firsts. The first cathedral, the first hospital, and the first customs house, and the first university in the Americas were built there. Santo Domingo, now the capital of the Dominican Republic, was founded in 1498. The city at the mouth of the Rio Uzama was laid out according to a grid that became the model for almost all urban planners in the New World. So the next one is the historic Bridgetown and its garrison. So the historic Bridgetown and its garrison is an example of British colonial architecture in Bridgetown, the capital and largest city of the Barbados. So the third one is the historic center of Camagüey. So Camagüey is one of the first 7 villages founded by the Spanish in Cuba. So the fourth one is the Old Havana and its fortifications. Havana, the capital of Cuba, was founded by the Spanish in 1519. The Old Town is an interesting mixture of Baroque and neoclassical buildings. Many private houses with arcades, balconies, wrought iron gates, and courtyards have been preserved. Next is the National History Park, Citadel, Sans Souci, and Ramirez. Haitian monuments from the beginning of the 19th century when Haiti proclaimed its independence from France.